The Airbus 318 is small and when fully fuelled to cross the Atlantic is too heavy for London City's short runways. So BA added the Shannon stopover in Ireland, where the plane lands for 45 minutes and its tanks are topped up. And now we come to what British Airways says is the secret weapon of this London City flight. Although it has to do a refuelling stop at Shannon, it's here that we'll do our US pre-clearance for immigration and customs. Welcome back to CNN Business Traveller, where now we're at Shannon in Ireland. And this is a dream to behold, a sight to welcome and gladden the heart of anyone used to travelling the Atlantic. An immigration hall where, should I go there? Or maybe here? Or perhaps here? Or over here? I'm spoiled for choice. This gentleman over here. Oh, over here. The idea is simple. By clearing immigration and customs here in Ireland, time will be saved when I get to New York. I arrive as a domestic passenger. It makes up for the extra time of the fuel stopover. Through the doors, we've come full circle. We're back at the gate, waiting to reboard. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been through US immigration quite as fast as that. The ability to do pre-clearance on the way is a great benefit to the passengers, the airline and regional airports like Shannon. With so many non-stop flights, these smaller airports are now looking for a new niche on life. As Aisha Durgahi explains, here at Shannon, it continues a tradition and history.
For decades, planes have been stopping at Shannon to refuel and continue their journey across the Atlantic. Even before the airport had a runway, it was frequented by flying boats. DC-4s were regular visitors from the late 1940s. Back then, they would stay on the ground for up to 6 hours. And with no laptops, mobiles or other tools of the modern business traveller, passengers could pass the time buying gifts and souvenirs that were on sale in the terminal building. From the latest suits to cameras, this was the start of tax-free shopping as we know it today. Martin Moroney is the man in charge of Shannon who has the duty to keep making money for the airport. Since 1986, Shannon has been able to pre-inspect passengers for US immigration. And now it's the only airport in Europe to offer full pre-clearance for US immigration, customs and agriculture. Passengers flying with Continental Airlines from Shannon to the US were the first to use the facility last November. Delta soon followed, with British Airways becoming the third to pre-clear passengers en route to the States. For Martin, the plan is to attract more airlines to stop over in Shannon.
It's a matter of making them understand how useful it is for both themselves and their passengers. They have an added cost in actually making an extra landing. So we give discounts and charges, but now we're at the early days, so because of the economic and aviation downturn, it's more difficult to attract them right now. But we're very confident about that in the future, and Shannon has always developed itself with innovations, and I think that's why we are doing so much better than many smaller regional airports. We see a major opportunity with business jets, corporate jets, because at the moment many of those come in here for fuel. Soon we will have the facility here that they can clear everything in Shannon and go to their final destination.
And in terms of airlines being affected by the global recession, what changes have you seen in the airlines that actually fly here in terms of their route network?
Well, they're all finding it difficult, obviously, so they're looking very closely at the route networks to see, where they should suspend something for the time being. So unfortunately for us, Delta Airlines decided some time ago to suspend, for the winter months only, their Shannon, New York service. That was disappointing, but for us it's better to see an airline sorting out its difficulties so that they're stronger next summer and indeed for future years. So I think we just keep a close eye on where each airline is and work with them to meet their requirements. We've reduced our charges, for example, in the winter months on transatlantic substantially by 75% to help the airlines limit their losses.
Such cuts haven't prevented Ryanair, Shannon's most frequent flyer, from cutting 36 flights per week, due to a $12 tourist tax imposed by the Irish government. The low-cost airlines plus transatlantic traffic means Shannon is able to serve 35 destinations, and it has an additional revenue stream generated by Ireland's history of neutrality. The Cold War saw military aircraft from both the NATO and Soviet blocs passing through Shannon, and in more recent times the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan has seen a steady stream of US military flights touching down in the Irish airport.
And how much money have you made from US troops coming to Shannon Airport for a stopover?
Well, we don't disclose the actual numbers of any of our business. We're part of an overall company, but it's quite beneficial to the airport. We do make quite a bit of money from that business.
For a town of just 10,000 souls in the shadow of a nearby city of Limerick, Shannon has its own poetic position in aviation history.
Within an hour from landing, we're ushered back on board. Plane refueled, passports stamped. Time to cross the Atlantic. I'll see you in New York in a moment.